Exposure is important when wanting to take a good picture, and we previously enabled Pro Mode to take control of some more settings. So the three main points of exposure are ISO, shutter speed, and aperture, which aperture we can't exactly change on a mobile phone, it's more DSLR territory. But we'll talk about ISO and shutter speed. So ISO increases the light, kind of like a microphone, increasing the gain increases the volume. You lose a little bit of quality, but a normal ISO you might see is around 100 on a smartphone, or maybe a little bit lower, 50. And you want to keep this as low as possible, again, for quality reasons. But don't be afraid to increase forward all the way to 800 if to correctly expose your image. You don't want a dark image and it not to look good. So higher end devices, you can get away with 16, 3200, maybe a DSLR, or in a specific scenario with a phone maybe. Generally, I'm leaving this on auto unless I'm doing something specific, maybe with shutter speed, which is the second and very important tool. And your normal shutter speed you might see is 1/90th or 1/60th of a second, and you can take a picture of someone taking a jumping jack or running, and you'll see blur with their hands or legs, and it's just a nice way to take a picture and capture motion. So a faster shutter speed will actually decrease light and say 1/5, 500th of a second. You'll be able to freeze motion. So maybe a bird's flying and you want to capture the wing and you don't want the wing to be blurry. You want to be able to capture it. You'll take a faster shutter picture and be able to take a nice picture of that. And then again, lower will increase light. So maybe 1/10 of a second or even lower. You'll have to change the other settings, like maybe put a filter on if it's too bright. But that was nice for waterfalls. You'll see some amazing shots for that. But those are the two main things that you can change. I'm generally leaving these on auto unless I'm doing something with water or again capturing a fast moving target. Or at night ISO is pretty good to pump up a little bit. So it's just something also a little mention. When you change shutter speed, depending on your phone, it will kind of lock the other into manual mode as well. But when you change ISO to manual, your shutter speed is still on auto, so just keep an eye out for that. But those are the two main ways to change your exposure and correctly expose something and just get a little bit more detail, more quality out of your pictures. And in another video, we will actually look into editing exposure in Lightroom and how you can decrease those blown out skies and get some more quality and detail in there, especially from the shadows and everything. So look forward to that, and we will be signing out. Pew, 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 pew.